Appreciate you stopping in again. Like I said, we're talking about using templates and watercolor on, we're going to try watercolor on butcher block board, paper. So to save a little time, this is the butcher block paper I was going to use. I put some watercolor on it, and it wrinkles up. Of course, that's kind of what I thought, but I mean, one way you could do it, you could use it, but if you put it underneath glass, you put it between two panes of glass, you could use it, it would work. But if not, it wrinkles up, you know. So what I did, the paper I've got up there that we're going to use is meant for to handle watercolor, and you look for it. It's the mixed media paper. Comes in these different sizes, but you can use watercolor and you can use acrylic on this. And this is what we're going to be painting on today. So we're going to get started here in a second. All right, I was going to try to, had a little bit of daylight. I was going to try to paint this in daylight, but I don't have enough daylight out there to do it. So we'll compare the light, the different types of light at another time. Remember, we talked about that. That you need to do if you need to paint whatever you're going to paint it in the light you're going to display it in. So if you're going to display it in a soft white light, paint it in a soft white light. Otherwise, if you paint it in a different type of light, it's going to look different. It's going to look different. It will not look the same. Like I said, these are the templates that I made myself. I just cut them out of cardboard, and I showed you this the last time. But simple cardboard. This was the back of a notebook. This, I don't even know what it was. But yeah, you can cut your templates out. You can cut you some templates out and save you some time. I don't know if you probably can't see on this board, but I use these templates. I use these templates to set this up earlier to save some time. Like that. I use this one, and then you can use your templates to set up your picture, and then you can add stuff to it. It's just a time saver. Of course, you wouldn't want to use them all the time, but let's see. And another thing, we didn't talk much about, but you can go, of course, you can paint however you like, but you can go from light to dark, like light in the background, dark up front, or light in the front, dark in the back. That's what usually happens. That's what most artists usually do. They'll go from light to dark, or dark, or light to dark in the front, and light in the front, dark in the back, or light in the back, dark in the front. So today we're going to go light in the back and dark in the front. Contrast is another thing that helps, so that's the reason for that. So we're gonna just start, like I always say, just get in there and start. Hopefully my brushes will hold out. If not, I do have some more. So we're going to start. Let's start with our moon. I don't know if it's a moon, whatever it is. Moon, planet, whatever. This is our this is our painting. So sometimes like this, I didn't plan anything. I just put the templates up. So I didn't really have anything in my mind as far as what it was going to be. I mean, you know, sometimes that's the better way. It comes out better. So we're gonna, instead of using the sun, I'm just gonna make a moon looking thing maybe. I like that light blue, especially since we're going light in the back. You can see this paper was made for multimedia. So you can use watercolor or acrylic on this. I don't think, well, no, I know you wouldn't want, it says watercolor or acrylic on it, I believe. I know oil wouldn't work. You got too much oil would, you don't want to do that. You want to, if you're going to use oil, use a canvas, I would say, or something else that can support it. Oh, see, mistakes. Too much water, but we just take a rag. It's good with watercolor if you got that rag in your hand, which I didn't at the time, but you can fix, like I said, you can fix it. You can fix anything, almost anything. And because this planet, moon, whatever it is, comes down to the horizon, you're not going to be able to see, just like when the you know, sun goes down, the moon goes down. You can't see it. You can't see it all well. Sometimes you can on the ocean. You can't see the bottom rim of it due to the atmosphere. There's either clouds or something that's keeping you from seeing the bottom part. So we're gonna put a little bit darker color blue in here for our out there. Wherever this is, there's an ocean. There's an ocean. But we're going light to dark, so light in the back. Light in the back. And dark in the front, and hopefully we will have a good contrast, so that when we're done with it, it'll contrast really well, and that makes a more striking image. Watercolor is cool, but to get vivid colors, it's sometimes difficult. You're really not going to get that. But that's all right. See, even though this paper is made for this, yet it's still wavy a little bit, which is, it's kind of irritating. I mean, it says multimedia paper, but it's not handling this. It's not handling this the way I think it should when it says multimedia. Multimedia, that shouldn't be wrinkling at all, but it is. So if you put this under glass or something, sure, it would flatten out, but if not, you're going to see that. You're going to see that, and that's really annoying. Really is. Really is. So like I always say, just get it on here. Just get some stuff on here, and then you can start to fix it. Well, let's just get some color on here, and we'll start to fix it. We'll try to fix it. And the thing is don't try not to concentrate on finish one part, one spot. You get focused on one spot, trying to make it look right, and it'll wind up causing you a lot of work, because it won't. If you get one spot looking the way you want, now you got to try to balance it out. If you put too much value in that one spot, too much, if it's too dark or it's too light, now you got to make the rest of them, the rest of the piece match it, and you can cause yourself a lot of work. But if you just keep jumping around, it kind of flows. It kind of comes good. I'm gonna use the colors that I got, on this. These are the watercolors I'm using are cheap. They're cheap watercolor. So you're gonna get cheap results. Now you can they're working on watercolor now. That's not watercolor, but they do have watercolor in tubes that is more, it's a higher quality. Anytime you get something with a better quality, of course it is easier to work with, but as I always say, you don't have to have it to create something. You don't have to have the top dollar paint or the top dollar paint brushes, or in order to create something that's that's satisfying. You don't need it. If you've ever been to Iraq or Afghanistan and went to a bazaar, you'll see the proof of that. There's some of the best artists in the streets over there that I've ever seen, and they've got nothing. They've got no money. They're working with what they got, and they turn out some beautiful work. I was at a bazaar in Baghdad once, and my goodness, actually have the photos of that. There was this guy had paintings sitting on the street there. It was, gorgeous. Just top of the line stuff. He's creating beauty like that, in a war zone, and his pictures would have sold over here, So you don't have to have the best. Matter of fact, you can create with the minimum and create some beautiful artwork. Of course, I didn't get a chance to. We would have liked to have been able to talk to those guys who did that, but of course I couldn't. But it's been interesting to find out where they learned how to paint like that. They do have universities there, but believe me, I've been inside some. They're not what you think of when you think university. yeah, you don't need high dollar stuff to create. You just don't. You just do not. Oh my. Got our rag in one hand in case it starts to run. Fairly small and stiff little brush so we can control this. The way I cut this template, I drew it and I drew a lot of little edges in it, and man, it's a pain in the neck to cut out. Every time I cut it out, it's a pain. I use an X-Acto knife, but it's also a pain in the neck to put paint on it because of the way I did it. But I thought it looked kind of interesting. I'd rather do this than get something off the internet. This I know at least I'm not going to see it somewhere because that, it came out of my brain. And when I did this one, I was experimenting with airbrush. I wanted to I love the way airbrush looks, but I just cannot get it to work. So I gave up on it. And maybe I'll go back to it one of these years, but if I get whatever time I got. But maybe I'll try it again one day, but I just couldn't get it to work. I would love to. I would love to because I love the way an airbrush looks. I really do. I like motorcycles. That's what I was gonna do, is paint my intent was when I started messing with it was to paint motorcycles. I've seen some beautiful work, airbrush work, and if you can get the airbrush to work, it's not hard to make beautiful stuff with an airbrush. All you gotta do is get the damn thing to work. It's not hard. You really don't have to be, honestly, you don't have to be much of an artist with an airbrush, if you can get it to work. The airbrush does the work. It creates the look. We're gonna darken this stuff up and put shadows and stuff later, hopefully. Hopefully, we just want to get something on there. And what I'm painting right now is the templates first, just to show you the templates that I put, and then I'll use your templates just to get started with, and then you can add stuff later. I'll add stuff later. I don't know what, but these videos I don't plan. I just because when you start doing it, chances are you're not going to plan it. So it'll show you can do it, and you don't have to go to a lot of work. I mean, you can plan, and it's better if you do, I guess. Well, I guess nothing. If you're doing something for somebody, you have to plan it because they tell you what they want, but that's not the way I don't do this for a living. So I paint for myself. If people want it, that's fine. If they don't, that's also fine. But I don't go to the stress of doing commissions. These are just base colors I'm going to put on here. I'm going to go back Let me go back. I'm just covering the templates. Just putting something up here. Putting something up here. All right, let's see what we got. You can prep watercolors by spraying them first, which is a good idea. It is a good idea. Or you can leave a like a wet rag on top of them. You know, if you're gonna do something that takes you a couple of nights or whatever, you can, you know, put a wet rag and lay it on top of them if you want to do that. Yeah. But doing what we're doing here, you know, it's not really necessary. These brushes are cheap. The hairs are coming out of it. I don't know if you can see it, but that's really frustrating. They get on your paper, and if you reach up there with your finger, you're gonna smear it all over the place. That's why an X-Acto knife, which is what I use to cut these templates out, comes in handy for getting stuff like that. And I drew these templates probably 20 years ago. Yeah, 20 years ago. Actually, longer than that. Longer than that. Oh my goodness, yeah. Yeah, longer than that. About closer to 30 years ago. Isn't that crazy? Time goes by. Yeah, because when I was messing with that airbrush, that was, yeah, 30 years ago or more. Slightly over 30 years. So these templates I cut out, I put them in a folder, and then I put them in a box, and that's where they stayed. And you can make your templates, and they'll last you. Put them in a little box, a little plastic box, or put them in a folder, put them in a box. They'll last you a lifetime. But I have a tendency to keep things way too long, I guess. I've got drawings from when I was 20 some years old. Well, that's more than 40 years. Main reason I keep them is for ideas, and to see, you know, what I've improved on. But regardless of how you know, it's good to keep them, because one, you can see where you've changed, but you can keep them for ideas later. You know, I have, since I kept all mine. Now, if I plan to do an oil painting or something, I'll just go back and look at my drawings from my youth and get ideas. I've got plenty of, you know, I've got plenty of ideas, and I don't have to. They're right there, so you know, it's handy that way. Let's see what we got here. I don't know what this is going to look like. We're going to try. We're just going to throw stuff up here, like I said, and go from place to place. Not staying on one thing. Not staying on one thing. We're just getting stuff up here. And then we'll go back. We'll go back. And it's all right. Some of that blue like bled into there. That's okay. It's watercolor. I mean, they're not going to look like a number drawing anyway, because the paint doesn't stay in one spot. But you just put it up there. So you just keep moving around. Keep moving around. Another thing is that's fun to do if you you know, you're just bored or whatever is wood burning. Maybe we'll do some of that if I get a. I don't know if I have any. I don't think I have any boards, any wood left to do that. I mean, some of the wood burning I got, wood that I burned stuff on was just scrap wood that I had outside. But you can buy the things, but you don't have to do that. If you got some scrap wood, you know, sand it off a little bit and burn it. You know, you can do some wood burning. It's got there's some nice things you can create with wood burning. It's about to run. This is about to run. Yeah, you can make some beautiful stuff. There's a good wood burner at, oh my God, what's that place? Harbor Freight for $99. I don't know, it was $99 when I bought it. I don't know if it's went up or down. But it's a quality wood burner. Now you can buy a wood burner at Walmart, I think, for $7, and it still works. You know, it works. It's just slower to heat up, and it doesn't have as many heads on it that you can use as the one at Harbor Freight. But that one at Harbor Freight is excellent. It's worth every penny. I'm not advertising for anybody, but on purpose at any rate. But yeah, they're a good. You can make some nice things. You know, like maybe something for Christmas or holidays or Halloween or whatever. You know, burn it, or a gift for somebody. I did a wood burning thing for one of the ladies my wife works with was going away, and I did a wood burning for her. And put some things on it, you know. Yeah, we just start this a little bit at a time. You just start adding things. We don't have everything on there anyway. But what we got right now is the templates up there. That's every template that's right here is that 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we're gonna add stuff. You'll see we're gonna add stuff later to it. These are just the templates, and hopefully we can get the contrast that I'm thinking of, but maybe not. We'll see. We will see. I try to keep these videos under an hour. Of course, people don't have to watch them at all, but you don't have to sit the whole hour if you. But I try to keep them under an hour. and then we'll go back to it. We'll come back to it. Sometimes, usually, try to work on one. Maybe it takes usually 2 episodes to get it to some kind of minimal completion. You know, and I don't go into 100% done, but just to get the idea. That's what I try to shoot for. Is to just give an idea of what could be, of what could be. Another thing, at least me, that I like is that you don't have to cover every spot in a painting, or you don't have to cover every spot. Now, if I'm doing oil painting, I usually do, but I don't leave anything. But like a watercolor, you don't. You can leave places open, and you still get the gist of it, and it still comes out all right. You don't have to cover every spot. We might. I don't know if we're going to do it on this one or not. Thing is, you just take it each individual. Take it one at a time, whatever you're doing, and see if you need to cover it. You may not. You may want to, you may not. But it's up to you what you do. And what you do is, however you do it, it's going to be you. It's going to be you. It's going to reflect you. There's some guys I know that paint. I can recognize a painting that they did just by the style of it. People, if they paint long enough, you get a style. And there's some guys, not many, but there's some guys I can look at their painting and I know who did it, just by the style that they use. Especially when it comes to pen and ink, you can really tell, a style with pen and ink. It brings out your personality, I guess. Love pen and ink. We're getting some stuff on there now. That's what we're doing. We're just getting stuff on there. We're getting some stuff on there. All right. Okay. Even though we're going light to dark, we still got that dark line at the ocean. Cool thing about oceans, you got all those colors. You can put pretty much anything in there and it's gonna look all right. You got blue, light blue, yellow sometimes, green. You got everything in there, and it's still gonna look all right. All right. Let's put a little. Speaking of green, let's put a little green out there. I put a little green on that. You can't tell. Maybe later you can. Maybe later you can. Put a little green. There's a little, you can tell. There's a little green. Yeah, we just keep moving. Just keep moving. Go back, and go back and forth, and don't try not to get hung up on one spot. Try not to get hung up on one spot. You try to fix one spot, and it's easy to do. I mean, I still do it. I realize it too late. It's like, oh my goodness, I stayed too long there. Kind of a good life lesson. Try not to get hung up in one spot. God knows I did it here in this place. It sucks to hate where you're at, but I do. Yeah, see, we put a little green in there. That's all right. Put a little green in there. Let's see if I can find a skinnier brush, and we're just gonna jump to some little plants that I drew in there real quick. Let's see if I got a skinny brush somewhere. Yeah, these brushes I got are very cheap, and even though it's like I was saying, you don't have to buy the best, but it does make a difference. It makes things a lot easier if you've got good equipment, like anything, If you're working on cars, it's good to have good tools. If you're painting a lot, it's great to have good brushes and quality paint, even. Like for oil paint, I use Windsor. Windsor is a good quality. It's good quality paint. They have a they have high standards in mixing their paint. If it's Windsor, you can tell, the color's going to be the same. When the color is going to be the same. It's going to have the same pigments in it. You're not going to get, a green one time that comes out one way, and then another time another. It's mixed the same every time. And it makes a difference, Yeah, so we're just putting color up here. We're just putting color up here. And we keep moving. We're going to keep moving. Keep moving. Keep on moving. Keep moving. Could be plants anywhere. It probably is. So we're going to stick some out there. So there's a plant out there. Sometimes they grow in those dunes, right? Sometimes you might have some growing down in there. And we don't know what beach this lady is on. Who knows? Maybe it's like our last. Maybe it's like our last painting. She's on another planet somewhere. That gives you an excuse to do anything. You're creating it, so somebody says, that ain't supposed to be like that. Yeah, it is on my planet. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. It's that way on my planet. This is my planet. So yeah, it's that way. Oops, messed that up. So we're just gonna make another plant there. There we go. That's fine. Yeah. So we're still moving. I still haven't decided what we're gonna do on that left side, which is this side. But we're gonna do something because we want it to contrast with that background. And we need to do something over here too. But okay, we're gonna give this lady some black hair, I think. Yeah, I think we will. I think we will. Could be brown, but I don't know. I'm gonna give her some black hair. As black as this watercolor we'll give her at any rate. Apparently her hair's looking more like mine, but black's kind of gray. Maybe she's older than we thought. Yeah, maybe she's older than we thought. Yeah. She's looking like she lives in Florida. What's that place in Florida? They send bratty kids send their parents. Yeah. What is the name of that damn place? Kids send their parents there. What was the name of that place? I was almost on the edge of my mind. What was it? My kids suggest something like that. He'll have about 3 seconds to get out the door before I put it. Before he's chasing some buckshot. Put me in no damn home. What is that place? Oh God, I can't think of the name of that. It's a retirement. It's a retirement place in Florida. God, what is it? They make jokes about it. It's so damn. Must be popular, I guess. Can't believe I can't think of the name of that. Maybe that means I'm ready for it. Come on, girl. Your hair is not. I'm trying to make your hair black and it ain't working with me. It is not working with me. It is not my fault. It is not my fault. It is not my fault. Here we go. See, that paper's getting saturated. It's not supposed to. But it is. Don't like that. So if I was getting paid for this, I would not like that. Would not like it. So that means if I was going to do a watercolor commission, I would not use this paper. And that's really a shame because they sell it to be used like that. There's no disclaimer on there that it says, you know, not to be used professionally. It says multimedia or mixed media, which means it should work. Okay, baby. Let's put a little shadow right there. Let's put a little shadow right there. Okay. Yeah. So let's see, we're getting to a point where, yeah, I think we're getting close to wrapping it up for today. We're getting long on time. And then we'll put some more stuff on it, and we're gonna have to work hard tomorrow to get it to where I want it to be. Because what we want is a contrast. We want a contrast. And even though we want light to dark, we still, let me see what we can do here. We want to put a little bit of, we want to put a little bit of sky in there, so a little something. And we don't want it to be. We don't want it to be a standard. We don't want it to be a standard color. You don't have to use blue for sky every time. I mean, it's your painting, so you know. Because really, sky isn't blue, you know. When it comes to, you know, clouds and stuff, it's just, you know, it's all kinds of colors. Let me get this water off of there. Get that water off there. I want to try to make these lines straight, which is not. See, I'm spending too much time here. As like I said, do it and move on. I'm trying to make this look right, and I need to move on. I hang around here, and I'm gonna create a mess. So we're gonna leave that there. We're gonna leave that there. We're gonna leave that. See, if I had oil paint, I would create a white atmosphere, like a cloudy looking atmosphere there. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it with this. But I would if I had oil. Yeah. This might suffice as an atmosphere. It might. No. Nope. See, I'm doing what I told you not to do. Spending too much time in that spot. Too much time. Too much time. Yeah. Too much time. Okay, yeah, we ran longer than I wanted to. But we'll come back. We're going to come back to this tomorrow. And we're going to work on it. And we're going to try to get it where it balances out, and it will contrast light in the back and dark in the front where it makes you want to look at it. That's what we're gonna try to do. So I appreciate you stopping in, and we'll come back to this tomorrow, and we're gonna try to we may work on this 3 days. To try to get it to look the way we want. But I appreciate you stopping in, and we appreciate you spending time with me. So you have a good rest of your evening.